At the end of the fight, they asked Ilia who would he like to face next. They mentioned that Diego Lopez was in the crowd. Volk, that whole Volk thing was just awkward. It shouldn't have happened. I really wish that in another timeline, they did not have Volk standing there looking. It was just weird because they mentioned Diego Lopez at first. So it looked like that was the fight they was pushing. But it seems to me like Volk is trying to force his way into a rematch because they clearly mentioned Diego Lopez. And I think most people would like to see that fight because Volk has not fought and won in between his losses. You're coming off 2 brutal knockout losses. You have done nothing inside the cage.
And it's going to be hard for them to sell Ilia versus Volk too because you got knocked out. It looks like there's nothing that you really can do to Ilia. We actually had a video about this a couple months ago, and we were saying that the best thing that Volk can do is take another fight like Arnold Allen.
Yeah, a mob star, somebody who got to fight you with grappling, so you don't really have to worry about being knocked out. And you can be a top-ranked guy, get your confidence back. But the fact that they had Volk standing there, it was so weird. The camera turned around, it panned around, and they mentioned Diego Lopez, and then Volk is just standing right there looking. And then he's kind of like, I guess I'm just going to come in there and then just kind of shake your hand and congratulate you. Bro, we don't want to see the rematch. You got to put some more work in. You got to do something else. You can't fight it. Because I'm going to be real. Volk right now can't even beat Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett knocks out Volkanovski right now, bro. Unfortunately, for Volk, that's just where everything is right now.
Or maybe you could look at it as if he lost to 2 of the best fighters, pound for pound.
Your chin doesn't care.
No, but you gotta understand, I'm not saying he should fight Josh. That's terrible. What I'm saying is...
But no, I'm just saying, if you can't beat Josh Emmett, you dang sure ain't finna beat no Ilia.
I'm saying I think he can beat Josh. I think that's a dangerous fight for Volk to fight Josh. But I think he can beat him. But what if we're looking at it wrong? We should look at it from the point of he lost to 2 dangerous guys.
Okay, and now let's look at it from the point of history repeat itself. Whenever these dudes get beat by one person, especially in the featherweight division, we went down this road before, man, with Jose, Max, then Volk. Now it's happening to Volk. They always lose to that same guy multiple times.
Absolutely.
And then Volk is actually a little bit worse because he lost to Islam twice. So he getting it worse than everybody else because he might possibly lose to 2 different people twice.
Yeah, and also that means he can't go up to lightweight because at least Max could always go up to lightweight. If he kept losing in featherweight, which there might be his, path now. The thing is, because Volk already lost to the lightweight champion, he need the lightweight champion to lose. A lot has to go right for Volk. He needs Islam to lose. And unfortunately, it ain't finna happen because Islam is a champion. He's a very different type of fighter right now. And Ilia is showing that he's one of them ones. He cut from different cloth. So, Volk, I just felt like it was very awkward. It didn't need to happen. And they were clearly trying to push Diego Lopez. And I think that's a very dangerous fight because I know Diego has a lot of losses, but he's on a win streak. But Diego is one of those people where this is going to be not exactly the Khalil and Alex thing because Diego is higher ranked in his division than Khalil, right? Yeah.
So the thing is, the UFC...
Brian was ranked high. He beat Brian Ortega, so...
Yeah, so the UFC has been pushing for Diego Lopez. And we know that they've been taking people who are exciting and who can win fights, and they've been leapfrogging them to the top of the division. Mm-hmm. And so Diego has been able to be leapfrogged to the top of the division. He's been finishing people or winning impressively and, most importantly, excitingly. And so now he was already in discussions to be possibly fighting for a title. And with his style and his speed and his power and the danger he presents on the ground, that's a very dangerous fight because he's one of those live by the sword, die by the sword fighters. He's not going to pity-patty around and try to fight a certain type of way. Like, he really going to bring the fight to Ilia. If I do see one weakness, if the fighter's not going a certain type of way, I can see Ilia getting uncomfortable. And you can't really afford to be getting uncomfortable and have a momentary lapse against somebody with the speed and power of Diego Lopez. Now, against a lot of other fighters, you probably can get past it. Don't get me wrong.
What fight has he looked uncomfortable?
Well, there was a few times where in the Max fight which is understandable though because Max is one of the best in the world, so I can't really hold it against him. But I'm just saying, him and Max did go back and forth. They both had moments. So I was looking for situations where I knew Ilia was going to win, but I was looking for opportunities that other fighters might look at and say, okay, how can I maximize on that right there? Because he didn't like that.
It's just
I'm looking at it from the standpoint of a strategy of a future opponent, and they might say, okay, he don't like that kind of combination. That head kick was cutting off his counter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He don't like going back to his left or his right. I'm just looking at it from that standpoint that another fighter could exploit if they got the right athleticism and tools. And Diego, he's lightning in a bottle. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a world where Diego can go out there and put the lights out and really stop the momentum. That's a dangerous fight. So what they might actually do is make the Volk fight. Because right now, the common sense thing would be to make money, you gotta do UFC Spain. Well, you have to do UFC Spain. Yeah, they do because he had Sergio Ramos out there.
I agree.
He got the Real Madrid supporting him. Dude got a whole country He got a $2 million gym that they built?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
No, or another path they can take is let Diego Lopez get a title shot, because if he can beat Ilia, then maybe Volk can come and beat
It ain't
Diego.
about Volk no more. That's what you don't understand. Volk is over. Dude, Volkanovski is not about to bring you in the pay-per-views and the money. They've seen the amount of money they can make with the Australian cards. They know, they're aware. That's why they give us the cards they give us. They give us the worst cards we could think of and put Izzy in the main event and think it's okay. Those cards be worse than some of the fight nights. You know, we know how they think about that. They might be a fun place to go and stuff like that, but the value on those cards don't really be what it is. UFC Spain would be ridiculous. They're going to put Joel Alvarez on their card. They know they're going to have a lot of soccer fans out there. They're going to have a lot of people out there supporting those fighters. And then now you're getting a more international crowd. MMA is global, don't get me wrong, but soccer is the most global sport in the world. And now you got an MMA fighter who is rivaling the popularity of soccer. That means more than LeBron, more than Steph Curry, more than Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like another level, man, when you talk about globally, and then their region, how much they like soccer, how much they respect soccer, and then with his heritage and everything. Oh my goodness, you got to do UFC Spain. So it ain't about Volk no more. Volk got to start looking out for himself and taking fights that he can win, so that if Ilia or when Ilia loses, he could be in a position. But this is not about Volk getting his belt back, because the UFC knows we're going to make way more money with Ilia holding this belt around his waist. We can do a whole card there. We can do so many different things. That's why at the end of the interview after the fight, he started speaking Spanish. You got to do that. You have to. You can't respond to Joe Rogan in all English, and we finna do the UFC Spain card. You crazy? Better start speaking Spanish. We gonna cut this promo. What you talking about? So Volk need to do what Max did. He gonna have to sit out a bit and do what Max did and win fights against people who you can beat. Because realistically, beating Calvin Kadar and beating Arnold Allen shouldn't have put Max up that far. But he did win him, and he was on the win streak.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was so thinking about the fact that Max, if he would have got another title shot after he lost, even if he just lost his belt, it would have been worse, man, because then he would have lost multiple times back to back. But every time he lost, he went back and he fought people, and he got on the win streak, and he earned his way back up to the top.
And Volk is trying to avoid doing that. He just want to get the belt back, and that's how I can tell you he's going to lose again, because it's going to get kind of weird, but just stay with me. What he's doing outside of the cage, for me, that lets me know how he would fight in the cage. He would be putting himself in a bad position just trying to get Ilia back, and he would get knocked out. Does that make sense? It's like, you know how like in the cage where somebody hit you with a good shot and then you want to get it right back, so then you try to land a big punch.
Yeah, but that might be the only way he can beat somebody like Ilia, if you think about it, because there's not a lot he can do. He can't take Ilia down, he can't wrestle him, he can't out-grapple him, he can't submit him. The only thing he can do is try to get his lick back. Honestly,
when has that worked for anybody? Don't worry, I'll wait. Like in MMA.
No, I'm saying fighting like that in the actual fight, walking him down. They might actually.
You're telling me that you think Volk in a rematch against Ilia, his best chance, stop me if I'm wrong, his best chance is walking Ilia down?
Yes. It's not like he got a lot of options.
Well, that's just unfortunate, because that's a terrible game plan that will result in him getting knocked out again. And now,
not necessarily, man. Because
Volk is not a knockout artist anyway, so that's a bad game plan, because Volk don't possess the type of power to even warrant the threat of Ilia having to be worried about him walking him down. You would have to be a Diego Lopez with the type of speed and power that like could really put your lights out. You would have to be that type of fighter and fighting.
You don't think Volkanovski can switch over like that?
He's not a knockout artist. Dude, his best path to victory would be a 25-minute decision, and you think he's supposed to walk Ilia down for 25 minutes?
But it might be his only path, though.
It don't matter if that, just because something is your only path does not mean it's a smart path. You might be in a situation where your only path to make money is selling drugs. Are you gonna do that?
No, but I'm saying he's kind of screwed. That's what I was saying, man. Like
no, but you make it seem like it was a viable option just because that's your only path. No.
What other option did
his only other option is get another fight. Do what Max did. That's what you need to do.
No, I'm saying whenever he do fight, because it looks
he don't need to be thinking about. He needs to stop it, because you know another thing that they kind of messed up here, and it's gonna kind of backfire. They gave Max 3 opportunities against Volk. So Volk might dang near think, okay, I'm gonna get my 3 opportunities. I only used up one of them. This might end very bad, bro.